Certainly not. And it's the thing that only a matter of 5, 6 years ago, we were absolutely screaming out for, saying we need to be back in the Football League because we're a proper football club and we need to not have these away teams turn up with 20 or 30 fans. Remember when the Cowsheds had 1,000 in and, you had a great game. It is just, as you said, the apathetic kind of attitude at this moment in time. And I can't blame any fans for feeling that way. My kind of frustration today is uh, what I've always kind of been a champion of, that League Two and League One, there isn't a massive amount of difference, in my opinion. To stay up there consistently, Stockport, well, the reason they've gone from National League North all the way through to League One is apparently to the sum of about £27 million. There's an awful lot of money that's been invested into that project. I'm sure I read an article somewhere it was 27 million for Stockport, and the Salford experiment, since that's been going, they've clocked in over 50 million. That's been invested into the project. We are unfortunately being run on a shoestring at this moment in time. Some would say for quite some time, and that gap just seems to grow and grow and grow. And the problem is now that the gap appears to be growing in the Tranmere fans' hearts as well. It's a good few years since we had something to really celebrate, and that stand felt as empty and as sparsely filled as it really was today. And it's disappointing because there was reduced ticket prices, and you'd like to think that. I remember days, you remember days of FA Cup games in Prenton Park getting 10,000 plus fans, and a team that was the league above and sitting in great form. That was the kind of game that we would lick our lips at. Now it's the kind of game that maybe us as fans are performing like some of the players' duties. Until we're really questioned and pressed on it, we're shaking our responsibilities.
A sign of the times, indeed, and a sign of where Tranmere are. But you're right; those FA Cup ties are ones that we used to cherish, and now we look at them and go, "Well, probably going to get knocked out. So what's the point?"
Yep. And the Prince of Positivity may have left the building there, but I said I still leave today thinking there was a game there for us, and we just didn't. We didn't quite get those small margins. The decision that was not necessarily a free kick, and the free kick that really a goalkeeper probably should have had a one step more to her side to cover off that early shot. If buts and maybes, but yeah, not blown away by the talent of Stockport. But on the other hand, what we've got a few players coming back. There's a few disappointments in there, like Leo Connor, I think, is a massive miss. If anyone was to sit me down at the start of the season and say which two players did you want to re-sign, it was Luke McGee and Leo Connor, because I believe we'd struggle without them. And I do think them missing from that starting 11, we've seen why we've re-signed them, because they were definitely adding to what we had last season, and that good run that Crosby had, they were integral to it. So there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Seeing Dennis get some minutes today, not necessarily his finest minutes that he's had on a football pitch, but still that's another option. Ironside getting some minutes again. Did he offer more than Connor Jennings? Not really. Did we give him massive amounts of opportunity? Not really. The player that seems to be the man that's going to get a little bit of space is Whitaker, and I'm almost quite pleased, as I said, with our physio room being like a military field hospital. I'm pleased that Crosby took Whitaker off, because he's an incredibly important player for the next few weeks. Um, I think I said to you before the game on Tuesday, we're kind of just drifting round in the bottom half of League Two at this moment in time. Not really feeling afraid of the drop at this moment in time, but not really feeling afraid that we're going to challenge mid-table. Maybe a few new faces back from the physio room back into the squad can put a bit of pressure on those who are starting, to make them think that they've got to try and earn the shirt, because it just feels very predictable. As I said, we only seem to really respond when pressed or go behind.